Okay, so we have already talked about validation rules and we have talked about formulas. So those are ways of putting custom logics into our applications that we are using. In case you want to automate certain actions, then we have more options. Okay, and we have workflow rules for automating actions, and we have approval process for automating an approval process, complete process of getting an approval done, because there is so much of data being stored in Salesforce. Sometimes what happens is certain things require approval. Let's say before you take an order you need an approval. Let's say you want to take an order which needs to be delivered in a short notice, and before you can actually confirm that order you need an approval from the production manager, that sort of thing. So there can be a lot of those things, right? So in that case, instead of doing a manual approval flow, we have an option of automating that process. Okay, so that the Salesforce system takes care of the approval process right from the start till the end. Okay, so I'll talk about approval process, but we will start with the workflow rule. Workflow rule is a simple concept. It's basically automating actions in Salesforce. Okay, as the name says, workflow, flow of actions. Okay, so you can automate some action within Salesforce. Like for example, whenever you receive a contact, a new lead, you want to send an automated email saying that, hi, we have received your inquiry, we will get back to you, that sort of thing. You must have seen this thing with a lot of companies, right? The moment you put your contact information on their website or somewhere, you receive an email from them, right? So these are all automated actions. The moment someone has registered on my website, or moment I receive a lead, an automated email needs to be sent. So that's a workflow action. Um, any field which needs to be updated automatically, that's a workflow action. A task which needs to be assigned to someone, let's say there's someone who is um, who we need to assign a certain task, that can be again a workflow action. So there are few workflow actions. We'll talk about them, which can be done through workflow rule. Okay, so workflow rule is basically defining those automatic actions. Okay, so in workflow rule, what all things we need to define? Basically, we need to define which object the workflow rule should be working on, what criteria should be met to initiate action, and what action should follow. That is it. Which object, what criteria, what action. That is it. Okay, so let's say I want a rule like this. Every time a new lead is created, send an email. Let's say this is my workflow rule. Okay, send an email every time a new lead is created. And there's something which I don't want to do manually, I just want to automate it. So how do we do that? So it's pretty simple. In this case, object is lead, criteria is new lead with email, and action is send email, right? So whenever you have this sort of situation, just break the situation into these three things. So initially this will help. Which object are we talking about? What will be the criteria and what is the action that we want to do? That's it. Okay. Now let's go ahead and define this in Salesforce. See how it works. Okay. So to define a new workflow rule, all that you have to do is you just have to go to setup. Under setup, go to create. Then go to workflow and approvals. Click on workflow rules. Go to continue. Click on new rule. Okay. Select the object. As I told you, the three things that you need to decide before you start creating the workflow rule. So the object is lead. That's fine. Let me go ahead and select the lead object. Go to next. Okay. Just put a rule name here. That can be anything. Workflow 1. Give it any name and description. Okay. Evaluation criteria. Now the criteria part has criteria has two parts: evaluation criteria and the rule criteria. What is evaluation criteria? Evaluation criteria is when do you want that rule to be evaluated. Okay, so the rule can be evaluated only when you are creating a new record. See, when the record is created. It can also be evaluated when a record is created and every time it's edited. Okay, but this will be a little too much, because then what will happen if you select this one, then every time someone comes and edits a lead, an email will be sent. So that will be not the right thing for us. And the third is created and anytime it's edited to subsequently meet criteria. Okay, what does this mean? So first one, I think we understand. Created will send an email when a new record is created. Second one will send an email every time the record is being edited. So for email, I don't think the second one is the right thing to do. Third one is created in any time it's edited to subsequently meet criteria, which means if a new record was created, okay, without email ID, so definitely the email could not be sent, right? But later on, if someone edits to put the email ID in that record, then the email can be sent. Got it? So we will go with the first one. We want to send an email when a new record is created. So let's stick to the first one. Then second part is rule criteria. Do you have any specific rule criteria in terms of values defined in the fields of the record? Yes, there's one rule criteria that I want. That is, email ID should not be equal to null. Should not be blank, right? Email ID should be there. So email ID not equal to blank. That's what my rule criteria is. So I've defined the object, I've defined the criteria. When do you want the rule to be evaluated? When a new record is created. What should it evaluate? It should go and check whether the email is blank or not. Sorry, email is provided or not. If the email is provided, then go ahead and do the action. Action part is what I will define next. So go to save and next. And here we are. This is where we are going to define the action. Add workflow action from here. Okay, just click on this drop down. What action we want to do? We want to send a new email alert. Just click on new email alert. Give a name for the action. Email for lead, whatever. Email template. Salesforce has a lot of, because while I'm talking about sending an automated email, what I'll need to do is I'll also need to define an automated, pre-built template, email template, right? So Salesforce has got a lot of email templates. You can use any one of them. Just say email template. Pick any one of these. You also have an option of creating your own template. Okay. So in case you want to plan to create your own template, you have the option here, communication templates. Under setup only, you have communication template and email templates. You can go there and create your own template. Put your own subject line and email body and stuff like that. Let me use any existing template right now. Let's say this is the existing one. Okay. So that we have defined. Define the recipient type. Who is going to be recipient for you? For me, the recipient is going to be, so there are so many options. Okay. You can make record owner as the recipient, creator as the recipient, okay, a user as a recipient. However, for me, recipient is going to be the lead field, right? So if you want the recipient to be from the field in the object, then select email field. There's one email field in the lead object. I want to send it to that email ID, right? That's lead's email ID. So that is the thing. You have an option of adding up to 5 people who can be CC'd on the email. Okay. So you can add additional 5 email IDs who will be CC'd on all these emails which are being sent. Okay. You can enter up to 5 email addresses to be notified. So they will be copied on the email. Right. That's it. Save. So the rule is ready. Criteria defined, object defined, action also defined. Done. Only thing that we have to do now is click on this done button and activate it. The workflow rule by default is not activated. You have to click on this activate button to activate this. Okay. If it is not activated, then it will not work. All right. Sometimes you don't want those emails to be sent. So in that case, you can just deactivate it. Okay. And when you want this rule to work, you have to activate it. So now let us go and activate this rule. Activate it. All right. Now if I create a lead which has an email ID, automatically an email will be sent to that lead. Lead new Hmm. Okay. Got this? Now the record is created. Now let me just go and check if I have received an email or not. 1 minute. Ideally, it should send an email now, right? Yeah, here it is. See this email? Thank you for your inquiry about this product and all that stuff. So that is what was written inside that email template that we took, but it's working absolutely fine. Clear? Any questions on this? It's workflow rule. Concept wise, it's okay. Okay. Now, just going back to the workflow rule once again. Okay. So in the workflow actions, you have another type of action which is called time dependent action. Okay. So you have immediate action and you have time dependent action. Immediate action is something which will happen instantly. The moment record is created, the email will be sent. Okay. However, sometimes we might want to delay the action. Okay. Maybe send something after a day or two. Let's say you sent one email. Now tomorrow you want to send another email. So in that case, that second action should get delayed by a day or something, or maybe 24 hours, right? So in that case, you can put time dependent action in case you don't want the action to happen instantly. Then you can go and define time dependent actions. But before time dependent workflow actions can be added, you'll have to add the time trigger. So click on add time trigger. You want to perform something one day after the rule trigger, save this time trigger. So there is this time trigger one day after rule trigger. Okay. So this is immediate. This will happen after one day. So you can add your action here. So you add another email sorry, email alert or whatever you want, right? So that is how it can be done. That is how it can be managed. Correct? Okay. So that's about our workflow rule. Now let's talk about approval process, which is very similar to workflow rule. So if you've understood workflow rule, you will not find any difficulty understanding approval process. Okay, what is approval process? This is very similar to workflow rule, just that in a workflow rule, what is happening? There's some criteria which is met, and there's some action which follows, and that's the end of the story, right? Criteria met, action happens, story ends. For an approval process, when a criteria is met, approval process starts. Okay, so it goes to the approver for approval, and then that approver will need to approve it or reject it. Okay, and based on whatever the approver does, the person who submitted the approval request will receive a response that your request has been approved or it has been rejected, right? So that is the thing. So it's a little longer process as compared to the workflow rule, but the concept is pretty similar. So for an approval process, let's understand what are the different steps. In approval process, you need to define the object for which you want to create the approval process, criteria, which records need approval, what is the criteria before the approval process starts, who is the approver, this needs to be defined. Approver can be any user within your company. Okay. Who is approver, that you have to define, object you have to define, criteria you have to define, and then you will have to define actions. But for action there are different stages in approval process. For workflow I just had one level of actions, but here you can have multiple levels of actions. Okay, what are those levels? Submission, approval, rejection, recall. So you have to define action for each of these stages. An approval process goes through these 4 stages, right? When an approval is submitted, if it is approved, if it is rejected, if it is recalled, right? So I have to define action for each stage. That's it. So when the record is submitted for approval, then what happens? When it is approved by the approver, then what happens? When it is rejected, then what happens? When it is recalled, then what happens, right? So that is how it is. Okay, so what we have to do is we simply will create an approval process for okay, so let's create an approval process for opportunity. Okay, if amount is greater than, in an opportunity, if the amount is greater than 1 million, get it approved by some user. Yes, some user. Okay, can be anyone. Right. So let's create this approval process, and for this approval process, what we have to do is um, here I don't want to send emails. Okay, the previous workflow rule we did send email. Here I don't want to send email. Here I would rather want to update the record. Okay, so the action that I want here is update the record based on status, approval status. Okay, so let me try doing this. So first of all, on opportunity, I will go and create a field with called approval status. Okay, and then I will try to control the value of that field using my approval process. So let me go to the approval process. So you, for creating an approval process, you just need to go to setup, approval processes. Select the object for the approval process. Opportunity is the one, right? Here it is. Okay, sorry. Before I create approval process, there's one more thing that I have to do, right? We'll have to create an approval status field on the opportunity object. So just go to customize opportunity fields, create a new field. It's going to be a quick list field, drop down. I will call it visual status. Okay. Pending to lifted call. Okay. So I'm creating a field which has these four options. Okay, and I want these options to be updated based on the approval process. Okay, using the approval process. So no one is actually going to manually assign the values here. They should automatically get updated, right? So I'll make it a read-only field as well, so that manual editing is not available. Okay. So the field has been created. Now I'll define the approval process for that. Click on approval process. Create new approval process. Jumpstart wizard. Okay. Give it a name. AP1, whatever. Leave everything else. Now specify the entry criteria. Okay, so this is the criteria. What is my criteria? If I look back here, if the amount is more than 1,000,000, then only I need approval process to start. So my entry criteria is record where opportunity amount is greater than 1,000,000. However, this is not required. So if you don't have an entry criteria, that's also fine. In that case, all the records will be sent for approval. Okay, but now since I am adding this criteria, only the records with an amount more than 1,000,000 will be sent for approvals. Okay, if you try to start an approval process for a record which is less than 1,000,000 in the amount, then the approval process will not happen for that, because that does not meet the entry criteria, right? So if you want an approval for, let's say your company has a system that every opportunity needs an approval no matter what, then you don't put this one. Okay, then just leave it blank. But here we want approval only for the records which are bigger than 1,000,000. Okay, so that's fine. Select an approver. So you can automatically, so we have options of selecting the approver. You can let the submitter choose the approver manually. The person who is submitting the record for approval can choose an approver manually also, but I don't want that. I want to automatically assign one single approver for all the records. Let's say this guy Manish is the approver. All right. And you also have an option of putting multiple approvers here. Sometimes it happens that for the same thing there can be multiple approvers, right? So you can add rows and add more approvers here. Okay, but if you have multiple approvers, then you have to choose one of these options. When multiple approvers are selected, approve or reject based on the first response. So you can have two scenarios. Let's say for something, for my opportunities, for this logic only, I have two approvers. Let's say we have Nirupa as an approver and we have Pearl as an approver. Okay. And my logic is any one of them approves, the record should get approved. We will consider it as approved, even if one of them. Okay. So sometimes that is the situation that a company has, that out of four, whoever is available can approve, and that's it. Okay. The other situation is I need approval from both of them. Okay. So that's the thing. So if you are adding multiple approvers, then you will have to define this. When multiple approvers are selected, approve or reject based on the first response. So should shall we approve or reject the record based on the first response itself, or shall we wait for all the responses? Require unanimous approval from all selected approvers, right? So depending on your requirement, you will choose. So right now we just have one approver, so let's not get into that. But if you have multiple approvers, then of course. Okay, so my approval process is ready. Click on save. Only thing that you have to do is define actions. View approval process detail page. Go here. Okay, so the process is ready. Only thing that we have to do is, what I told you here is, for an approval process, you need to define object, which you have done. You need to define the criteria, which you have done. Approver, you have defined. Action need to define. But for action, I told you here, it's not just a single set of actions. Here, you have to define action for all the stages. That's what. Submission actions, approve, leave about the approval step. Approval actions, rejection actions, recall actions. So on the submission action, I will do a field update. This time I don't want, you can send an email also, but this time I just want to do the field update. I want to update the field. Which field? Which field I want to update? The one that I created, approval status. So when the record is submitted, approval status should automatically become pending. I want to do this field update. Okay, then same way. So when the record is approved, then I will update the field into approved. For final rejection, I will update the same field to rejected. And for recall action, I will make update it to recalled. Okay, that's it. Okay. So we have defined action for all the stages. For initial submission, I have defined a field update. I have defined a field update for approval, for rejection, for recall. Okay. So based on the stage, the field will get updated. Okay. If you want, you could have sent emails also. You can define email alert at each stage. We are not doing that. Okay. Now quickly look into the approval process diagram from here. How is your approval process actually set? So this will show you a flow chart of your approval process, just for your understanding that what exactly is going to happen. So the record has entry criteria, the approval process will start. Okay, then it goes into initial submission. In case the record is recalled, it goes into recall, and opportunity recalled action happens, and that's the end of it. If the record after submission goes for recall, okay, or if it goes for initial submission, it goes to step 1. From here, either it will be approved or it will be rejected. If it is approved, this action will happen. If it is rejected, this will happen. That's it. So that's the simple diagram that we have here. Okay. Last thing, you have to activate the approval process. Only thing that we have to do is we have to activate the approval process. All right, and then we can test this approval process whether it's working fine or not. Okay, so let me go ahead and activate the approval process. Okay, I'll just do a small setup change here. Since Manish is not here, so what I'll need to do is I'll just change it to my email ID so that I receive the approval request. One minute. Let me just change the email ID to myself because he's not here, so that I can at least do that approval thing. Okay, so now let's test our approval process. Set the email ID correct. Now if I create an opportunity which is more than a million in amount, let's say OP24, and the amount is okay, and okay, so I've created the opportunity. Amount is more than a million, and approval status is blank as of now. Okay, because there is no value which has been provided to it. It will take its value automatically from the approval process, right? The approval process needs to be initiated. So the submitter will actually need to come scroll down and here need to submit the record for approval. Okay, approval process will not start automatically. The process will complete its action automatically, but the submitter will need to click on submit for approval button for the record. So once you've created the record, you can submit the record for approval. Submit for approval. The moment you submit it for approval, it goes to the approver. Okay, and automatically, if you see, approval status has got updated to pending automatically. So that is the action that we defined there, right? Now, see, as an approver, I have received this thing. This guy has requested your approval for the following item. Okay, so the approver will receive this kind of an email in his inbox, and he can click on this link and approve or reject the record. Click on the link, approve or reject or cancel, whatever. So put a comment and approve it. Looks okay, and approve it. Okay, so the moment the record is approved, if I come back to my previous screen, I will see the approval status has automatically got updated to approved, and in the approval history also it shows as approved. So this last part or this related list, approval history, shows you all the steps of the approval. So initially it was submitted at this time, and then it was approved at this point of time. Okay, who was the approver, who was it assigned to, and what was the comment. If you want, you can submit it again for approval, but this is approved. There's no point submitting it for approval once again. But if the record was rejected, then you could have made certain changes and submitted it again for approval. Got it? So that is how it works. This approval process. Please let me know if anyone has a question or doubt here. Clear? Simple concept? Okay. So now, first of all, let me set Manish's actual email ID there. Okay, even before that, there's a small one more thing. We saw that the approver received an email, then he clicked on a link, then he went into Salesforce interface, and from there he clicked on approve or reject, right? There was an option. Now, if you want, your user should be able to reply back to that email and approve or reject the request just by replying. That option is also possible. All right, how that is done? In that case, you just have to do a small change in the settings. Okay, go to create workflows and approvals, settings. Okay, go to workflows and approval settings. In workflow approval settings, you just have to say enable email approval response. This one you have to turn on. Click on save. Okay. So now my email response is enabled. Okay. Now if I go and submit the same opportunity, submit for approval. Okay. Submitted. Request has come for approval. Okay. Here if you see, along with the link, you have a little more instruction available here. to reply to this email with one of these words in the or reply to this email with one of these words in the first line of the email message. If you write approve or approved or yes, then it will be approved. Okay, any of these words, any of these three words, if you write and reply, that record will be approved. If you write reject, rejected, no, then it will be rejected. Okay, so let me just write yes. If you want to approve, just say reply yes, send. So that record itself will go and approve that email itself will go and approve the record. It might take some time, a little, there can be a bit of delay, but it has got approved. See, so it was submitted for the second time, and this approval was done for the second time. Correct. So now this time it was just from the email. Okay, so that option is also available in case the approver is very busy, does not want to click on the link and all that stuff, or he does not want to log in into Salesforce. Then you can allow this option that okay, fine, in case you feel like approving, just type yes, send back. Clear? If you want to reject, it has the option of reject, rejected, or no. Out of these three words are for approval, approve, approve, or yes. Okay. Please let me know if you have any questions or doubts on this. I'm going to send you a few examples for workflows, approvals, and formula validations, which you'll have to work over the weekend. Right. So that is something which I'm going to share anyhow.
And Jeet, when you will send these videos of this week?
The video yesterday I gave you the link. No?
So you sent it?
I gave you the link on the chat window. Did you pick it up? No. Well, I shared the link with you, na?
Last week you sent one link. On that same link
So
you
there is
edit
one more link
the video.
updated. Okay. Give me a minute. Give me 1 minute. Huh? I'll share the link again with you guys. First of all, let me set this email ID correct.